everybody, welcome back to my channel. So we're going to dive right into week 2 on the study I am doing on the book Enough by Kate Connor. I hope you really enjoyed last week's. If you've had a chance to watch it yet, I really hope it had some type of impact on your life. If not, I do suggest to go back and watch it. It was really good. It covered a bunch of stuff about modesty, femininity, our bodies, stuff like that. But this week we're going to cover chapters, I think, 3 and 4, so because they kind of worked together, so I put them into one. So we're going to jump on in this week about the internet, along with social media and drama and finding your passion. So this will be a good one. I feel really excited about this one. So once again, kind of have a idea of what my notes say, but probably gonna be looking at them a lot, so I'm sorry. So let's jump in. So social media such as Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Visco, stuff like that. It's become a daily part of our lives. We check it in the mornings before we crawl out of bed, and even while we sit on the toilet. And if you can tell me that you do not sit with your phone when you go to the bathroom and scroll TikTok and scroll Instagram, you're a rare breed, because I think all of us do that some way. So yeah. So little interesting story, and it's going to show my age, is back when I was a teen, and more specifically leaving middle school, transitioning into high school, 9th grade, MySpace was a thing, and I'm sure you've maybe heard of MySpace. The thing I loved, it was so cool. It was coding before coding was a thing. You got to make your own, select your own background, select a profile song. You had your top 8, top 10, and that was a big deal, because if you were kicked out of someone's top 10, top 8 or whatever, that means you did something that made them mad. So it's kind of funny kind of how that works. That was kind of a little bit of a petty move, I guess you would say, back in the day, to kind of show somebody that they have made that person mad, so they are no longer one of their top friends or whatever. So I actually started my first real relationship ever, like back in high school, through Facebook, when Facebook was just becoming a big thing. And I even actually met my husband through Facebook. Some of our first conversations, didn't meet him, but some of our first one-on-one conversations were through Facebook, and that was until we exchanged numbers on Facebook, on social media, and yeah, it just kind of goes from there. But to start gossip back in my day, or a rumor, or to spill the tea, or whatever, is all by word of mouth, face to face, passing notes in class, maybe an occasional phone call, a text, if that was something you were able to do back then. And if you wanted to be snarky or make a comment about somebody, you just had to be loud and hope that they overheard it, instead of going online and posting it in a status or whatever. Social media, a rumor can spread like wildfire without any second thought. People can share the post, comment on the post, screenshot, the dreaded screenshot. We'll screenshot it, send it to somebody. It's rough. But we'll discuss that a little bit further on, about how your status is and what you say can kind of be a snowball effect and affect your life in the real world and not just on the internet. Now, as fun as social media is, the drama and stupidity that come from it is a lot. I think we've all been maybe involved in a situation personally, or know somebody that has been involved in a situation online that wasn't good. So we know that social media can be our best friend, or it can be an enemy, that's for sure. The author of the book, I quote her a lot this week, so get ready. These are not my quotes, these are things she said out of the book that I agree with, and they just fit perfectly, and she did an excellent job with these chapters. She said that words are like swords that can be used for good or evil. It's about how you say it, your tone, and when and where you say it. That has a lot to say. A lot of people don't realize when they say something that their tone sounds a certain way, or that they didn't mean it to come off this way. So think about that before you speak. It's about your tone, what your words are, how deep they will hurt somebody, and if you're using the words for a good impact or to be evil and hurt somebody's feelings. A post for drama usually starts online as one such as, wow, I can't believe that person did this to me, or wow, I can't believe that I thought my best friend, I could trust them, yada, yada, yada. You get the picture. I'm sure you've seen it before, the condescending, without mentioning a name, but hoping this person understands typed post or comment even, who knows. People can see what you're saying and they know what you're doing. And the wildfire drama and gossip starts there. So people are going to see that Jennifer posted status that probably had to regard to her sister or to her best friend, and then they're going to tell this person or that person, and it's just this constant snowball wildfire effect of just drama and junk in your life, and you don't need it. No one does. And personally, I'll call myself out again. I know in my younger years I was guilty of that. I would, especially when getting into high school and boys, girls drama, stuff like that started to happen. I would post snarky comments, and or me and my friends would have code names, code words, or things we would use about certain people, and I'm not proud of it. I'm really not proud of it, and I have stepped away from doing that because I'm obviously a mature adult, but I still actually struggle with it because I want to now, as a pastor's wife, quote scripture and throw things in people's faces when I feel like I need to defend my husband with something he said, but that's not Christ-like, and that's not mature-like, and that's not what I want to do. So I rarely post statuses anymore. I'm really more of an Instagram photo with my kids and me, kind of what's going on. It's very rare you'll see me do any posts, and I think that's just comes from a level of maturity in your life where you don't feel the need to share every single thing you're doing every waking moment of the day in word form. She also says this statement, and I agree with it very much, is that social media is now a real part of society and not just a place to rant and act like people won't talk about what was said online in real life. Like I said earlier, those things you say, when you type them and you turn your phone off or you close your laptop, they don't just stay there. They're going to follow you in real life. They're going to follow you the next day when you go to school. They're going to follow you into a future career. And I'll kind of give you some words on that one in just a second. And some even see the internet as an extension of real life. I believe that. We carry it around in our pockets all day and check it anytime and anywhere. One of the pages of the book, I bookmarked a couple things for this because they were kind of long and I didn't want to put them in my notes. Kind of like what I said a minute ago is people will see that and it will go into, it's on the internet, people see it, and if you're not smart and you don't delete it and you don't do work to cover it up or to mend it, it's going to follow you into adulthood. Statuses can make you sound like sullen and pouty, and it makes you look immature and self-involved, and we don't want that. And a person she quoted in the book named Glennon Milton, hopefully I said that right, said, if you are not kind on the internet, then you are not kind. And I added, period. And it's true. You're being two-faced in a way. Like, yeah, I'm really sweet and kind online in person, but online I am mean and grouchy and ugly. You don't want to be that. You want to be the same person you are in person as online, and online is in person. You don't want to be the person that online, they seem like such a nice person, but then when we met in person, they were just terrible. You don't want that. You do not want to be that person. And there's another page here, let me see, that she talks about, if you're not kind and what you say on the internet reflects you as a person, is even as a teenager, I'm talking to you as youth, as young girls in college or high school, middle school. But if, like I said, if you don't do your work to cover it up, this is going to follow you into your career someday. Employers check Facebook accounts and Instagram and Twitter and all your social media. Your parents check Facebook, your boyfriend's parents and family members check it. If you have wild spring break photos or wild photos from a party and somebody tags you in them and you have them and you don't, these are things that you post them so young and then a couple years down the road you may forget about them, but you may have forgotten about them, but your future employer or whatever may not have forgotten about them, so keep that in mind. And she says again that it is with social media as it is with real life. You have to take the good and leave the rest. Yeah, we may see things on social media that hurt our feelings and things like that, or things just in general in the world that are cruel and ugly and not nice and pleasant. But we have to take the good that we see on the internet, like a story about a good Samaritan or some child being finished with chemo for a cancer treatment or something that pulls at your heartstrings that's good. You gotta take that stuff, and it is way better than the bad that's on the internet. Scripture I have is from 1 Thessalonians 5:21, and it is, but test them all and hold on to what is good. We're all familiar with photo filters, right? A little bit of Facetune here and there, make the photo look good of the food that we're eating, the sunset, the photo of our friends, the selfie. We use those, right, a lot of times to make ourselves look good. But what if we used a filter when we posted on social media? To think twice before we click post or share, because we want to look good with the words that we say as well, that come out of our mouths and out of our fingers, as much as a photo on social media makes us look good. Filter yourself. Do not just comment or post on a whim with your emotions. I think a lot of us, in a moment of anger, sadness, jealousy, envy, we may post something or comment something that we don't really want to, but we do it out of emotion, and it gets us in trouble in the long run. And I think a lot of us tend to regret that in the future with, I wish I would have thought twice, I wish I didn't post that or say that, because even though comments and stuff can be deleted, if it's bad enough, people see it and people will know and people will remember. So keep that in mind. And same as last week when we discussed what you wear represents you. If you're a track star, soccer, cheer team, football, I mean, whatever it is, you will wear stuff that represents you. Like I did with my color guard jacket in high school. That represented who I was. I was on color guard. So same as in what you wear is what you type and say on social media that reflects who you really are and what you want people to think about you. And with an extension of that, with thinking twice about what you post, there's 3 things that the author said that she looks for when seeing a post on social media or posting on social media herself. And the first is, what story am I telling? Is it good, bad? What am I trying to get across here? So think, even though it might be a simple 4-word comment or status update or whatever, or what are you trying to get across with what you're posting? The second is, if I were to go back months or years from now, would I recognize the purpose of my post? And this is a really good question, because personally, I've had Facebook for a very long time. MySpace obviously is way gone, but I will see memories and posts. I'll check my memories because I see photos of the kids and stuff like that from when they were little. And I'll see a post from like 11 years ago, and I will cringe because of just how I said it. Not even that it was mean, it's just the wording of how I said it. And so I look back, I'm like, oh man, that's probably why I don't post a lot of like verbal statuses. It was awful, it was cringy, it was rough. And the third one is the same as the second one, but if you went back months or years after your post, would you know that you were a Christian when you posted it? With what you posted or said or whatever it is, would that reflect that you were a Christian, that you were a godly woman? And let that sink in, because I had to even do that, because back in the day, like I said, some of those photos and stuff or whatever was cringy, and it wouldn't represent probably who I am today. And that says a lot. Let me be that example for you. So starting today, I want you guys to take those 3 things that I just said, and I'll drop them in the comments below as well, and think twice before posting anything on social, and think of those things. If you care about those things, if you care about where you're going to be in 10 years, where you're going to be, what you want people to think about you, future employers, think of that. Think of those 3 things. We're going to move a little bit more out of social media and more into the drama that stems from social media, and within drama and the craziness of the world, finding a passion that lights you on fire. So a little quote to kind of get us started on this next section is that it is not necessary to react to everything you notice. So seeing that comment or seeing this doesn't automatically mean you need to react to it in a crazy way. Once again, stop. Think before you open your mouth or you go using them fingers, typing on your phone to do your status or whatever. Now, what does everything that we just talked about, what is the one thing that comes from social media these days for young women? D-R-A-M-A, drama. Drama. That's all that comes from it. It came from it when I was a young girl. So some things just never change, sadly. So, yeah. I love what Kate says in the book is how much of the world's ugliness would be cured if we could all just learn to keep our mouths shut. Amen, sister. I think not just young women, but men and boys and young adults and older people and politics and a bunch of other things, if people would sometimes just learn to keep their mouth shut on certain topics or certain things, the world would maybe be a little bit nicer and we wouldn't all be ugly and hate each other. So yeah, there you go. Drama, though, is not just a teenage issue. Kind of like what I said with politicians and older adults. It's an adult issue. Trust me, I know. I am a guilty party for maybe not starting it, but being involved in some, and I have learned my lesson for sure. But there is something she says out of the book as well, again, that drama is the fruit of ugly habits and bad manners, and there is no growing out, only growing up. When left unchecked, drama will follow a girl as long as she lives, like a shadow, like a consequence. So not checking of how you react to drama, how you get involved in drama and things like that now will follow you into adulthood, and it will probably be a lot more worse because the consequences will probably be a lot steeper because adulthood is very serious. And yeah. We hate drama, but boy, do we love to get involved and spill the tea. I'm not saying to not be involved in drama per se. I know that kind of sounds like I'm contradicting what I just said, but hear me out. You want to be involved in the right things. You want to find a passion, something that stirs your soul, lights that fire deep down. Take that fascination with drama that need to be involved in petty things and stuff that is just not good for you, and find something else to put that focus on. We are mission people, as Kate says in the book. Our hearts were created to be split wide open and to feel things. Being emotional is okay. I'll say your feelings matter. Being emotional is okay. Your feelings matter. Your point is valid. A good cry never hurt anyone. A good shower cry, gotta love them. And a good scream into your pillow to let those emotions out, because sometimes you can't hold them in. You just gotta let them out. And I understand that. And when she says that our hearts were created to be split wide open and to feel things, it's kind of like Christ. You know, he aches for us. His heart is wide open for us. He loves us. He hurts when we hurt. He cries when we cry. We were made in the image of him, so no wonder we are built in our hearts and souls to be like him as well. Another biblical story for you. I want to read to you. It says from Esther 4:14 through 16. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish, and who knows but you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. When Esther sent this reply to Mordecai, go gather all the Jews who are in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law, and if I perish, I perish. So if you're not familiar with the story of Esther, let me give you a quick background. I actually just read Esther in my one-year Bible reading, so I took what I gathered from it and put it in here, so I'm pretty close. It's a close interpretation of what I'm trying to say. So basically, Esther was involved in a situation, wasn't involved, but was surrounded by a situation that was not good for her people, the Jewish community. So she was going to risk her life and all she had to plead for her people's life. She was able to persuade those around her and in power. She found her purpose, a passion, in a dark and scary moment. And spoiler alert, it worked. She didn't want to see her community destroyed, and so she risked her position she had and all she had for her people. We need a passion, a purpose we start to feel undervalued. If we don't find a passion or a purpose, we start to feel like, well, maybe I just don't belong here or that, or I just can't do anything right, or whatever it may be, however you're feeling. And then we seek out things that are not good for us, that will give us the validation that we're seeking out, that will keep us busy, such as unnecessary drama. We know we don't need to be in that, but hey, it's something to be involved in and be interested in, and something to keep me going every day. Challenge yourself. Ask your parents or friends to help you in challenging yourself to find something that will keep you busy and for you to get the validation you seek and to keep you busy, like I said. Ask somebody, a friend, to keep you going. And when you find that purpose or that passion after you've been challenged, and you find that thing that no longer wants you to be involved in petty things and drama, you'll start good habits. And having good habits is another way to keep your life in order and to keep the good out, or to keep the good in and the bad out. And that you feel like you have your life together. I have a few good habits that I feel make my day better, like making my bed. I feel like I have my life together, having my cup of coffee, things like that, doing certain things before the kids wake up. It's good habits, things that make me feel like, okay, my life isn't a hot mess right now. And I quote from her, "Do not underestimate the power of sadical self-discipline and of grace." And speaking of grace, and the only grace that is the most important grace to have is of God's grace for us. But from Ephesians 4:7 regarding grace says, "But to each one of us grace is given as Christ apportioned it." Once again, Miss Kate, wonderful stuff. These 2 chapters that we're reading says, if idle hands are the devil's playthings, how much more are idle hearts? And that is why I encourage you to challenge yourself. Don't let your hands be idle and your hearts be idle, because it's when the bad wants to creep in and the evil wants to creep in, and all the good you've worked for, you wanted to do, doesn't exist anymore. So challenge yourself. These are strong words to think of. They really made me think. If idle hands are the devil's playthings, imagine how much more our idle hearts are. The excitement of drama cannot hold a candle to the excitement of a cause, a calling. Finding it where you fit. Out of drama, you can find your purpose. You never know. I know that sounds crazy to think about this, like drama. I mean, drama could just be like, this girl kissed this girl's boyfriend. I mean, it sounds weird, but you don't want to be involved in those things, because it's not good for you. It's not productive for you or anybody around you. Let me get a little personal here for a second, kind of tell on myself here. I'm 28 years old, as I've said multiple times so far. And I've been deeply involved in the church for about 7 years, so that's since me and my husband have been together. I've taken the spiritual giftings test multiple times. If you're familiar with that, if you've been in church before, it's basically where it tells you where your spiritual giftings are in the church. If you're hospitality, discernment, worship, missions, anything like that. And my test results come back pretty consistent every time. My number 1 is hospitality, which I believe is right. That's pretty much my cup of tea. It's pretty accurate. But I still feel unfulfilled, and it's crazy to think about, because I'm trying to think here. I feel unfulfilled in the church, in the place where I fit, even though I've taken the spiritual giftings test. And with COVID, a lot of that stuff's been put on hold because we're having to limit kind of certain things that hospitality would do, and things like that. So I don't feel fulfilled in the church. I have a degree. Still don't feel fulfilled with the degree that I have, but I do feel fulfilled as a mother to my children. They are one reason when I second guess everything, that I realize that no, I'm doing something right, and that's having them in my lives and trying to raise them the best that I can. I know I'm not perfect. Oh, I'm so not a perfect mother, and Lord, I'm not a perfect wife either. But with my children, I feel extremely fulfilled. So there is no timeline to finding your fit, is where I'm getting at. I think slowly doing this right here is I'm slowly finding my fit into the church, into passions that I have, into this season, and I feel confident going forward. So there's no timeline in finding your purpose, a passion, things like that. It'll just click one day with you. And I think me having passions and things to do keep me busy is I don't want to be involved in drama, or I'm not that interested in it, or even being involved in drama as an older adult. It's too stressful. It's too much. And I can say full-heartedly that I have been involved in drama or have known of drama recently, and it's caused strife, and so I don't want to be a part of that anymore. So take my words as a proof of drama as an adult, and it's not good. Go to places that will inspire you, such as a homeless shelter, a shelter for victims of domestic violence, or a safe house for trafficking victims. Get involved somewhere. Seeing these women, men, children will not hold a candle to the minor drama in your life. Seeing people that have been through probably some of the worst in their life. Your stuff in your life, your petty little drama at school, your little strife with your parents, will not hold a candle to the things that these poor people are having to go through. I know it breaks my heart. It should break everybody's heart. And in real life, compared to real issues and problems, we need to look at our meaningless drama as what it is, meaningless. There are more pressing issues at stake in the world rather than what somebody ate for lunch yesterday or who John was sitting with at school. There is so many more things. And I'm not talking politics. I know the election's coming up. I'm not talking politics, but there's so many other bigger, scarier, more important things in life that I know as a young person is hard to see outside that bubble. But there are so many bigger and better things. When you, or anyone really, finds that one thing that makes you excited, that you crave, a fire in your soul will be lit and you will be unstoppable. My last quote that I'm going to use today from her is connection to the bigness, to God, and to external things, and to mission. Like she said, we are mission people. We want to do things. But one more thing out of here that I really, really like that she said to close out the chapter was, may our girls learn about grace, self-control, forgiveness, kindness, and the great big mission of God from us. Among these things, drama has no place. That's good right there. So the big mission of God, and when she says from us, from older women, from your moms, from your older sisters, from your aunts, things like that, other women in your life that are older than you. I hope that this one, I feel, as much as last week's was needed for current events, this one was needed so much more because drama can really ruin lives as a young person, as an adult. It can really cause some serious damage. But next week, hopefully the video won't be so long. I know week 1 was about 25 minutes, I think. Hopefully this one will be about the same. I'm only going to be covering one chapter next week, so it should be a lot shorter. So make sure to please subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend, follow me on social media. Once again, this one will be up before next week when I film. Week 1 will be up today, today is the 23rd. So, but until next week, know that you are loved, you are enough, you're smart, beautiful, kind, and you are a beautiful daughter of God. I love you guys, and until next week, God bless. Have a good day. Bye.